Hello, world. Welcome to another episode of PonderCast. I've got my very first returning person back on here. Everybody's excited for Curt. He is going to be doing some app smashing with to create some spinners. He's got it on his signature. He'll show us how to do it. How you doing, Curt?
I'm doing great, Seth. How about you?
I'm doing pretty awesome. It's great to have you back. So Curt was the very first one to answer some lightning round questions. So I'm going to throw some questions right back at him. So are you ready, Curt?
I'm ready.
All right. Number one, what is your favorite app nowadays?
My favorite app is probably still just the camera app. To be able to have that ability to take pictures on the fly, it helps me out so much in life. You know, my memory is full of all kinds of crazy things. I have 15,000 photos on this phone to help me remember everything and anything. So it's definitely my go-to.
Number two, what is the best part about having twins? You've got the cutest little kids. What's the best part about being a dad of twins?
Oh, I have very blessed. I have boy-girl twins, so I have a little bit of both worlds, and they're both 6 years old right now. I would say since we're not planning on having any more, and there are only two, is I get to focus on each transition wholly, and when you're done with something with diapers, you're done with something like diapers.
Number three, what is your favorite podcast nowadays?
Oh, well, that's the PonderCast, of course.
All right, Mr. Suckup. Next question. What is your favorite thing to do to take your mind off of the classroom? You are just the dedicated educator. What do you do to free that mind? And
I like to think that, I'm a true educator at heart. I love learning myself. So I spend a lot of time just learning on my own. And now that my kids are 6 and enjoy the art of learning as well, we do all kinds of stuff. They have a toy room or a maker space, as I like to call it. We just picked up a 24-inch vinyl cutter and a silk screen, with 4-color silk screen, and we're learning those processes right now. And they're all about making their own shirts, and they want to sell shirts and things like that. So a lot of still build with your hands and learn new skills.
Full of Legos and now screen printing.
Screen printing.
Sounds like a good
transfers.
Sounds like a good kid cave to me. And then the last question, if you were able to start a school, just building from foundation on up, where would you start?
I'm a firm believer that it all starts and ends with relationship. So I think if you're going to build from the ground up, you would want to find a good mix of how do you incorporate building relationship throughout the buildings. And I know that open concepts have been tried, and some of them have been re-retrofitted back to have walls, but how could you mash up the idea? I think we're doing that in our manufacturing program that I'm helping with at the high school right now, that we have a business component, a marketing component, and manufacturing, where you have these distinct different classes, but all working on one common goal, to build those relationships.
That's a great idea. Just have all the teachers on board, all the students on board, focusing on each other and the projects and things like that. Now it's time to get into some app smashing and the big reason why you're on for a second time. And you've got an awesome signature spinner thing going on. And when I asked you how you can do that, you said, hey, let's record a PonderCast, which I'm totally stoked about. I can't wait to learn with you, and let's see how you do this.
All right. So this was the way I did it. I'm sure there's many of other ways. That doesn't mean my method is right. It probably means yours is better. So if you have a better way, definitely reach out to me. So I'm going to share my screen first of all. So I have it pulled up in a Google Doc. So I keep my signature handy in a Google Doc so that I can use it. And you can see this little spinner right here. And this is what we're going to go over to make. And the first step is to come up with what pictures are you going to want on that spinner and place them somewhere where you can find them. So we're going to make one with some GIFs here. So, and we'll use these 3 photos right here, these little bit emojis, if you can see those. And you'd want to size them to roughly the same size, but it's not super important. That's kind of up to you. On my template that I used, I sized them all the same size. It made it a lot easier. So we're going to use PowerPoint, believe it or not, Microsoft PowerPoint, to be able to build that GIF. So I'm going to pull up this one with these 3 images. I have it in here. So basically all I've done is made different slides with a different tilt on the picture. So as you make a GIF out of those slides, it creates a GIF. So it just rotates around, and in the middle you switch your picture out. So there's a lot of steps to do this, to do it so that it looks like it's spinning instead of just opening and closing. Because if you can make it so it just looks like it goes up and down and it pops around. You could also do this by spinning left or right as well. And you can see my notes over here on the side, and that is the degree that it's rotated. So I have another slide deck open here that kind of shows you. The first thing you'd want to do is go and size your slides. For mine, I have mine sized to 5 inches wide to 6 inches high. And then I have added my picture, so we could insert just a photo. Let's add the same photo here, me walking with a coffee. And it comes in and it's kind of out of proportion. For the slide, I'm going to go to the size tool. I'm going to uncheck aspect ratio because I want it to be 5:4. And then I'm going to align that to the center and middle of the slide. So I'm going to redo that real quick. Go back to format picture. And we want to align that to the center of the slide so that if it ever gets bumped off, we can make sure that we can get all the pictures the same when we're duplicating our slide. The next would be to select a border. Our school color's purple, so I will go with purple, and you can make it heavier. Let's go with a 4.5 point. You can put a little bit of a bevel into it if you would like. I'm going to go with a nice soft bevel. I like the bevel. Those are all those things that you could do different than mine, a little bit more customized. So you have your image and your background. So once you have that, it's really a lot of doing the same thing over and over again to create the animation. So I'm going to start with it flat. I'm going to duplicate the slide. And this is where, if you use the template that I have, you have the numbers off to the side to help keep track. You're going to select your picture. You're going to right click and format it. And inside PowerPoint, you have some formatting that is for 3D rotation. And to make it look like it's spinning instead of just opening up and down, is you have to go in and give it a perspective so that you're looking straight ahead at it. So once we give it the perspective, it's a 45. Then we can turn it to, let's start at 270. So now that picture is setting directly straight as far away. And then you can duplicate that slide. You can select your picture, format, come back into 3D rotation, and you would go about every 10 degrees is what mine is set at. If you wanted to do more of them, it would be a smoother GIF because it would have more slides. So we're going to go with a 280. And you can see it start to tilt back towards us. Duplicate slide, come back into 3D rotation, select a picture, 290. And you're going to do this until you go all the way around to 360 up there. And that'll put it back on the other side. So let me show you how that looks. We'll jump back in here. So here's my 270, 280, 90, 300, 310, 320, 340, 50, and then I'm back to 0. At 360 is 0. And then you would simply start rocking forward 10 degrees, 20, 30, all the way up to 270. And this is where you would start over with your second pick. The trick here is you can copy and paste all these slides back down, and you can right click on it and just change picture if they're already set to the same size. If they're set to the same size, you can just switch the pictures out. But you need to preset your pictures before. And then when it gets to that 0 point, you start back up with the other picture. It rotates all the way around to 0. So do we have the PowerPoint side?
This is so cool.
All right. So this is where, that's step 1. grab your pictures, size them the same, set up the size of your slide, make sure that your picture fits on your slide. You can see these corners when you're using the perspective get wider than your 4 inches. That's why the slide's 5 inches. It gets really close to the edge there. And now we simply have to turn a PowerPoint into a GIF, which is a kind of its own little cool thing. To do that, you simply go to Save As, and you need to find a place to save it. You select GIF graphics out of your Save As type, and I'm going to create a new folder. Let's name it. We're going to put it in there. We're going to save every slide. This is important. If you save just current slide, you're only going to have one picture in your GIF. So you're going to save every slide to that folder. It's going to take it just a minute, the process, and they're all in that folder. So if I close out of here, move this up here, and find that folder, you can see all those slides are individually saved in here. The program I prefer to use, it's not the only one by any stretch of the imagination, is Easy GIF Maker. I like this one over others for one reason. We'll hit the GIF Maker. We're going to choose the file, and it's pretty simple. Let's go to the desktop and find that file. And we're going to select all the files at once, Control All, and open them. We're going to upload them. It'll take just a second. And what I like about Easy GIF is it allows you to add delays individually in the pictures. So if you ended up with 2 bars, or if you wanted the bars to end a little bit sooner, you can change individual slides. Or if you wanted one to hover for a little bit, you can change individual slides there. And that's as simple as that. You hit Make GIF, and it's going to produce it for you right there.
Oh, that is so sweet.
And from there, you can just save it, and you can drop it right back into your Google Doc if you're like me and want to keep your signature in Google Docs to keep it easy to edit. We'll switch over here to the Google Doc, and we'll drop that signature right in. That 4x5 is a nice size so that you can size it down and you don't lose much in the way of DPI. So how about that, Seth?
That is amazing. Like, so, okay, you've got Easy GIF, you've got PowerPoint, and PowerPoint's great. Not all of us have PowerPoint. Do you know if it's available? Can we do some of this on Google Slides?
I am sure there's a way to do it on Google Slides. I have not researched it on Google Slides. I've always just had access to PowerPoint and done it there because that's where I know. I could definitely look into that and reach back out.
Oh no, that's for the viewers. They'll figure it out.
But the main thing is just being able to change that perspective so that you're looking straight forward on. That will give you the illusion of rolling. If I run back to that Make GIF, we can probably pull up one of the other ones real quick. Upload it. And I like making other GIFs with this program too. It's a lot of fun. You can see how without changing the perspective, it opens and closes instead of spins.
Now that you have your signature open, you can easily tell everybody where they can find you.
All right, so I'm pretty easily accessible on Twitter or any of the other things with the last name Schleibaum. I'm not hard to track down, but it's at Curt Truck, so Curt_Truck. So,
and I will make sure I put that all down in the links below, down in the description. That is amazing. We don't sleep much because we share these ideas. This is amazing.
I decided to put mine up there like that because I didn't want it to take up so much room on my signature. This way I get to display all kinds of different little achievements that I've been able to acquire, and they all stay in one little spot.
I'm so glad you shared that with us because so many of us want to share all our badges and certificates. That is a great way to do that. Thank you so much, Curt. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe to his channel right here. Subscribe to my channel right there. and like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. And thanks for being on, Curt.
No problem. Thanks for having me, Seth.